sort out this thing. Okay, now yesterday we saw what is consumer behavior, the definition, the importance. Now we move ahead with the buying roles. So whenever we as a customers, okay, visit stores, we are playing certain roles. Either one of the roles of these. There's one more thing. Okay, so actually the first one is the initiator here. Role as an initiator. So a person who first suggests the idea of buying the product or a service is known as an initiator. Okay. Now who can be this initiator? The idea which pops into anybody's mind, okay, to purchase or to think about a particular product, of buying a product, he is known as, or she is known as, the initiator. Now who can be an initiator? They may be your friends, they may be one of your family members, they can be your friends, they can be your peer group, it can be the influence from media, or any set of thing which is associated to a consumer. Basically, it is known as the initiator. Now, how these things can be initiated? For example, if in the morning time, while having a tea, you are reading a newspaper and you come across a particular ad. Okay. Maybe we see many of the ads in the newspapers. Some of the advertisements, they are very attractive. Just grab your attention. So when it grabs your attention, you start reading. And if you find anything interesting, suppose maybe you want to go for an outing for a single day trip, or maybe a long trip. So you find an ad which is related to tours and travels. Maybe it will attract, since you are also thinking, or maybe if you are not thought of, you start thinking about it. So here the idea is initiated through this advertisement. Maybe you are watching television or a movie, the ad crops in, and you start thinking. Then the print or the media, television, becomes the initiator. Maybe suppose your friends influence a lot, isn't it, in our life? So suppose if a friend has bought a new handset, mobile, he just shows you, he's very excited, he meets you, he shows you, see, this is my new mobile. You start asking him questions. So many a times, if the review is very good, if he's very much satisfied about the features, then he will just suggest that this is a very good product. Maybe you or any member of your family in future, if you are purchasing for the mobile phone, just go to this. Does it happen? Or maybe about the restaurant, a family member has visited a restaurant, maybe with his or her friends, maybe it may be a corporate event. You receive a feedback from one of your family members that visit that restaurant, the food is very good, the ambience is very good. So here, those people who put the idea into the mind of the consumer is known as the initiator. Or maybe if in a family there is a kid who just says that I want a bike, my friend has bought a bike, that he is the initiator who takes the initiation, who creates the need, who creates a want, who creates the demand for a particular product. That is the initiator. the one who initiates. The next is influencer. Influence, a person whose opinion or view or advice influences the decision to purchase a particular product or service. Now, who can be this influencer? Maybe suppose if you are visiting shopping malls or a retail outlet, many a times the retailer will give his opinion. You are not seeking opinion, but there are many people who like to give the opinion or advice on their own. मुफ्त में सलाह देते हैं. Does it happen? Yes,
Yes.
it does many a times. So here, if the salesperson, usually they are very talkative, sweet-tongued, very talkative, very polite. If suppose the salesperson finds that a customer is very much confused in between choosing 2 or 3 options, he understands it. Or many a times the consumer himself or herself takes help of the salesperson. These are the 2-3 options which I have come across. Just can you suggest me which one is better? Which option is better? Maybe he will ask you 1 or 2 questions, that what is your need? What is your requirement? Based upon that, he will give you some advice. Now it depends upon the consumer or the customer whether to follow the advice, but he may try to influence your decision. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, depending upon the product category. So he is known as the influencer in this case here. Buying of chocolates. Suppose if you went into a retail outlet, retailers, okay, you might have observed in the forefront or the chocolate cans to attract the kids. If you are with a kid, maybe you want to purchase something else. The kid is behind you. I need a chocolate. I need a Cadbury. So here they become the influencer in this case. Suppose if you went to a shopping spree with your friend, many a times in between purchasing a product, you become indecisive. So your friend is there who will just suggest. Or maybe if you're buying a shirt, you try it. Maybe your friend is there. You wear it, you stand in front of the mirror. There are different colors, different varieties. Okay. You will wear one, the other one, the third one, and then you will ask your friend, which one is the better? Does it look good? So maybe this friend becomes an influencer. Many a times, professionals also play a very important role as an influencer. Like many a times you see the advice of experts, they influence the decision. Can you name some of the areas where you need experts, those who influence your decision? Hello?
Maybe family members or friends.
Family friends तो informal हो गया. I am asking you about
Inform
experts, expert advice.
like financial. If you want to invest somewhere,
Yeah,
then the
especially
financial
in case of
advisor.
services. Suppose if you want to avail services, the role or the importance of experts increases. In case of real estate, purchasing of house, okay, you may ask an expert. You may ask a consultant. In case of architecture, okay, you take the help of architect, landscaping person who is into it. If you think of buying a automobile, four-wheeler, you will take the expertise or the decision by technocrat person who knows in and out of the automobile industry. What are the requirements? He may guide. Suppose you want to purchase a clothing, or maybe you want to stitch the dress. The designers are there. They influence the decision. So here, these are the people, those who advise you, through their advice influence your decision. Now the next is the decider. Who is the decider basically here? A person who decides on, yeah, a person who decides on any component of buying decision, whether to buy, what to buy, how to buy, where to buy. Okay, he may be a decider. So this role changes. Now here, if a kid wants to buy a bicycle, who is the decider?
His parents.
Hello?
Parents.
Yes, parents. Chocolates. In case of chocolates, suppose if the kid says, I want the Cadbury, the brand, the chocolate Cadbury.
Buying role.
Yes.
Kids or the parents?
Kids or the parents. So here, see, when it's a matter of money, the parents, of course. But if the suppose the kid is very much specific about the brand, then already the kid has decided to purchase the product of that specific brand. जैसे बॉर्नविटा लेके आओ. Okay, I am giving you different examples. Even though mother and parents they want something else, they want Boost or some other brand, but still वो बच्चा बोलता है नहीं मुझे बॉर्नविटा ही चाहिए, that brand only. So naturally the parents will purchase. या कॉर्नफ्लेक्स चाहिए स्ट्रॉबेरी फ्लेवर और कुछ नहीं, I don't want plain, और चोकोस चाहिए with some flavor. So here the decider is the kid. Okay, whether to purchase it or not, it is a matter of parents. So they become the decider. So understand here whether to buy. Question. If suppose either tick mark हो गया, yes, it is to be purchased. जैसे consumables है, there is no problem. Every fortnightly we purchase the things. What exactly is to be purchased? How to buy? Where to buy? Now when you decide what to buy, how to buy, then maybe you go to the shop, you go to the mall, you just order online. Okay, so these are the options. In case of automobile, if you want to purchase a four-wheeler, who takes the decision? The decider is the person, the one who is going to ride the bike or maybe drive the automobile, that is a car. Wherever the budget is there, then the decider is the head of the family. Maybe a husband, maybe wife. In some cases, it is the head of the family, that is the husband, or maybe the lady. The lady where the areas are restricted. Okay, here also. Households, electronic goods. Maybe refrigerator is there, oven is there, washing machine is there. Usually, the lady decides since she is more acquainted with these machines. Both of them nowadays they think, but if you see, if you observe many a times how the salesperson they behave, okay, the salesperson will always try to convince from the comfort point of view. They will pay more attention to the lady and convince her. Okay, most of the time, both of them would be the listener, but the focus would be on the person who is using it the more. That is what is the decider. So again, it depends upon the product category, the need of the product. The role of decider, it depends. Now suppose if it is a family tour or a trip, maybe all of them, they come together and they decide. If it is a insurance, the product or service is like insurance, maybe you give more thought to this process while taking the insurance into consideration. Maybe the husband and wife, they sit together, they discuss. There is no role of kids here in this. So this is what is the decider. A buyer, the person who makes the actual purchase. Now many a times the buyer may not be the user. Is it true? Maybe the buyer is purchasing on behalf of somebody else. As I had given you example, the kids want chocolate or something else. Parents go and purchase. They buy. If it is a generic product, unless and until it is special like bicycle is there. Everybody goes there. The kid is more interested. Suppose if you are purchasing medicine, maybe the patient cannot go and purchase. So that's why here the buyer is a different person. So the person who is actually buying, okay, here the buyer is associated with the wallet, pocket, money, basically. He is the person who is paying the bills. So here many a times it is also the experience that the decider is a different person and the buyer is a different person. Isn't it? So actually when the buyer goes and makes the purchases, maybe he has been instructed by the decider that I want this and this and this and this products. Go and just buy them and come. Even that is the possibility. But this is possible in the generic case. User. A person who consumes or uses the product or a service. He is the user. Maybe if one of your friend, relative or client is coming from a foreign nation to your place, you are booking a room in a hotel. So here you are a decider, but the person, your client is the user. So many a times these roles, they differ. Maybe husband and wife or father, mother, they decide about the vehicle, that is a two-wheeler, and the user might be the daughter or a son here. So the role of user again changes here in this case. Now that's why the consumer buying decision making, it varies with the type of buying decisions made. Now the decision to buy a toothpaste, a toothbrush, soap, hair oil, a tennis racket, a computer, a car, a bike, a television, a perfume, everything is very much different. Buying a vegetable is very much different from deciding a car, isn't it? Complex and expensive purchases are likely to involve more buyer deliberation and more participation. So here, on the basis of this buying behavior, there are 4 types which have been evolved by the marketers. The first and foremost is the complex buying behavior. Complex buying behavior, it's a three-step process basically. This complex buying behavior is a three-step process. The first, the buyer develops beliefs about a product. So first, the buyer develops belief about the product. Second, he or she develops attitudes about the product. Third, he or she makes a thoughtful choice. That is what is complex buying behavior. Now, first we say belief, second is attitude, and then thoughtful choice. Now, obviously, consumers engage in complex buying behavior when they are highly involved in a purchase and aware of significant differences among the brands. This is usually the case when the product is expensive, bought infrequently, risky, and highly self-expressive. Now, typically, the consumer does not know much about the product category. When I say it's expensive and high involvement, that means here the customer takes out the time to search about the product, to gain information about the availability of the product. When we say it's high involvement, that means he is more interested in knowing about the product. Now, which type of products come into this categories? Electronic goods, maybe a computer, maybe a mobile handset comes into this, maybe a refrigerator, a washing machine, a grinder, a tab, television. These come into this, these white goods, they come into this category. Or maybe expensive jewelry, diamonds, expensive designer wear clothes. They come into this complex buying behavior. Now, typically the consumer does not know much about the product category. Like for example, you're buying a computer, you may know what are the attributes which go into it. Now, many of the product features, they don't carry the meaning unless the buyer has done some research. They are not aware of the product features unless and until they start searching for those. The marketer of a high involvement product must understand consumers' information gathering and evaluation behavior here. They need to develop the strategies that assist the buyer in learning about products' attributes and their relative importance, that call for attention to the high standing of the company's brand. The marketer needs to differentiate the brand's features. So here the more focus from the marketer side would be on the benefits. And the company should motivate the salesperson. Okay, here salesperson should be given the training to influence the customers by showing the benefits of the products. So this is what is the complex buying behavior. The next is the dissonance reducing buyer behavior. Dissonance. Sometimes the consumer is highly involved in a purchase, but sees little difference in brands. The high involvement is based on the fact that the price is expensive, infrequent, and risky. Now, in this case, the buyer will shop around to learn what is available, but will fairly quickly, perhaps responding primarily to a good price or to purchase it conveniently. For example, if you take an example of a carpet buying, is a high involvement decision because carpeting is expensive and self-expressive. Yet the buyer will consider most carpet brands in a given price range to be the same. After the purchase, the consumer might experience dissonance that stems from noticing certain disquieting features or hearing favorable things about other brands. So many a times we also come across this type of dissonance, no? That maybe in excitement, we go ahead, we purchase the product, and then we come to know that it's not up to the mark, or maybe we might have chosen some other product. Hello, Nikita. So this is what is about the dissonance, that many a times we feel that after purchasing the product or using the product, it's not up to the mark. This is known as dissonance. The consumer will be alert to information that supports his or her decision. For example, if the consumer first acted instead of acquiring the beliefs and all, okay. If suppose the customer acts first, then goes for the beliefs and ends up with the attitude. So many a times in our excitement, we first purchase the product because of hue and cry. We accept them, we purchase them, and then start developing a set of attitude towards the product. Marketing communication should supply beliefs and evaluations that help the customer feel good about his or her brand choice. So here the customer finds usually low difference between the brands in case of dissonance reducing buying behavior. And that's why in the previous session we saw that is USP or differentiation. You know, there should be a clear-cut differentiation in the product categories from marketers, so that the customers are not totally confused. Now the next step is habitual buying behavior. Habitual, many products are bought under conditions of low involvement and the absence of significant brands. Very low involvement. If you want to purchase salt, person goes and just says, give me salt. All the basic, generic products, unless and until you are very much specific. So consumers have little involvement in these product categories. They go to the store and reach for the brand or maybe product. If they keep reaching for the same brand, it is out of habit, not strong brand loyalty. Many times you may observe that you just go to the store and you just name the brand. And you get the product. So it's, you cannot say it's because of the loyalty, but because of just the habit which you have developed about that particular product or a brand. Now there is good evidence that some consumers have low involvement with most low cost frequently purchased products, unless and until they are very much critic, you know. There is also a segment which is very much critic about what they are purchasing, from where they are purchasing, and the price sensitivity. With even a margin of 1 or 2 rupees, they are very price sensitive. They are not ready to accept the product. With these products, consumer behavior does not pass through the normal sequence of belief, attitude, and behavior. Okay, here they don't take into consideration the sequence of belief, attitude, and behavior. They do not search extensively for any information. They do not evaluate characteristics or compare them. Just make the decision to purchase. They are very passive recipients of information. Ad reputation creates brand familiarity rather than brand conviction. Now, after purchase, they may not even evaluate the choice because they are not highly involved with the product. For example, I gave an example of a salt. You bring salt, you use it. You do not critically evaluate. So this is only possible for the low involvement products are bought on day-to-day basis. There is no matter of content as far as the benefits received are considered. Like you are using soaps, unless and until you are a critic, you don't evaluate much. Marketers of such products find it effective to use price and sales promotion to stimulate the product trials here. So television advertising is more effective than print because it is a low involvement medium that is suitable for passive learning. Now here marketers use 4 techniques to try to convert a low involvement product into the one uh, into a higher involvement. The first thing they do that they link the product to some involving issue. Like if you see Sensodyne, if you see the toothpaste, which is linked to avoiding cavities and the sensitive toothpaste. Second, they link the product to some involving personal situation. So here they take into consideration some personal situations and relate to it. Third, they might design advertising to trigger strong emotions related to personal values or ego defense. So many of the advertisements today show this emotional appeal, strong emotional appeals, and try to relate the product to the customers. The fourth one is they might add an important feature, which again might set the differentiation of the product. These strategies at best raise consumer involvement from low to moderate level at least. They do not propel the consumer into highly involved buying behavior here. And the last but not the least is a variety seeking buying behavior. Now see here the name itself involves that some buying situations they are characterized by low involvement but significant brand differences. That is what is known as the variety seeking buying behavior. So these people are not brand loyals. They have low involvement, but they would like to see the significant differences among different brands available. They need variety. They do not want to stick to a single product. So such type of customers come into this category of variety seeking buying behavior. They do often go for a lot of brand switching. Now, switching occurs for the sake of variety rather than dissatisfaction. So here those who always need something different. Okay. Now these variety seeking buying behavior, these buyers are also pioneers. They want to experiment. So those who are the pioneers or maybe those who are always coming up with the new products in the market, for them, it's a good sign because variety seeking people would be the first and foremost clients for them because they always would like to try something new and they are not loyal with the brands. The market leader and minor brands in this product category have different marketing strategies. Now, the market leader will try to encourage habitual buying behavior by dominating the shelf space, avoiding out of stock conditions, and sponsoring the reminders through advertising. Those firms who are the challengers will encourage variety seeking by offering lower prices, maybe by giving the promotional offers like free samples, discount coupons, distributing free samples, advertising. So these all are the strategies for this variety seeking buying behavior. So this is about different types of buying behaviors. Now, any doubts up till here? We discussed the different roles of a buyer and different patterns of buying behavior.
No, ma'am, no questions.
No questions, ma'am.
Okay. Whether the PPT is visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we move ahead with the concept, very important part of this buying behavior. That is actually the process or the steps involved in consumer buying behavior decision process. Now here, this is the model for the buying behavior. It shows that the customer or the consumer process subsequently through all these 5 stages in the buying of a product. Now here, not necessarily that it should go through all the steps. Maybe there is a possibility at some stage they may skip one of the steps also. Suppose if you are a regular user of a particular brand, okay, you may directly skip and go to the store just to make a purchase decision. This model is a reflection from start to end. So basically the consumer passes through 5 stages: the problem recognition, information search, evaluation of alternatives, purchase decision, and post-purchase behavior. The
Ma'am,
first
just
one,
one.
yes.
The same PPT we can see the old one. You're not sharing any new, right?
Okay, that is what I was asking.
The old one is visible.
Okay,
Buying behavior and complex buying behavior.
see now whether the,
Yes, now it is
Yes,
visible.
yes.
Buyer decision
yeah.
process.
Okay, so this is the model of buyer behavior decision making model. It shows the typical buying process. Now, the first and foremost step is problem recognition. So unless and until you feel the need to buy or purchase the product, nobody will go to the shop and purchase, or online also कुछ भी नहीं करेंगे कोई, unless and until there is need, isn't it? Now I am not associating this need with practicality, okay? Even psychological need. There are many things, even though we don't need, we purchase them. We have one, still we need more. Does it happen? And especially you consider the shopping spree. There are many of the customers, those who just like to shop around. Now here, the buying process starts when the buyer recognizes a problem or a need. The need can be triggered by internal or external stimuli. Internal stimuli and external stimuli. What is internal stimuli? So here maybe you are, maybe it's in evening time, you are coming from the office, अगर आप office से college से आ रहे हो, okay, in between there is a bakery, there is a shop, कोई वड़ा पाव वाला है, okay, you start feeling hungry. Even the time, it's been long time you had your lunch or your tea, you start feeling that you are hungry, you purchase, maybe you purchase a sandwich, vada pav kha lete ho. So that is the internal stimuli. You are very thirsty, it's summer, आपको चाहिए, आप शरबत पियोगे या जूस पीना है. So this is the internal stimuli. For this internal stimuli, you want to purchase the product. Okay, that is the internal stimuli which triggers the need. It becomes a drive. Hunger is a drive, thirst is a drive. Many times comfort is also a drive. Easy reach is a drive. External stimuli. Now here external stimuli. Advertising is an example of external stimuli. A friend influencing to purchase a product is an external stimuli. There may not be a genuine need, but these external environments, they trigger the need. So marketers need to identify the areas that trigger a particular need. Maybe by gathering the information from number of consumers, marketers can identify most of the frequent stimuli that rise an interest in a product category. They can develop marketing strategies which can gain consumer attraction or which can create interest so that they can attract the customers. Now here, if you take into consideration clothings, everybody of us need clothings. It is also associated with the profession. Maybe when you have just recently joined the office, so you need to wear those type of clothes. The professionals, you want to buy a suit, you want to buy a shirt, so that becomes the need. I need this. That is problem recognition. If you're purchasing an insurance policy, okay, maybe you need security, you need to secure your future. That is a problem or recognition of a need. Problem recognition is the recognition of the need. Suppose a person suddenly falls ill, emergency need. You go and you just bring the tablets. You visit a pharmacist, you visit a doctor, the pharmacist, and bring the tablets. Emergency need. Okay. Suppose it's a festive season ahead. So for festivals, for auspicious occasions, we purchase new clothes. The shops are flooded. Okay, nearing Diwali, if you see many of them, they go for the offers, the discounts. So what is the need here? Maybe people want new clothes. They want to celebrate Diwali. So here it depends upon the intensity of the need. So this is the first step where the person should realize the need. So maybe internal, maybe external. Now here the next step is information search. An aroused consumer will be inclined to search for more information. He will start gathering more information. He would like to be more aware. Now here we can distinguish between two levels of arousal here. The milder search states is called heightened attention. At this level, a person simply becomes more receptive to information about a product. And the next level, a person may enter active information search, looking for reading material, phoning friends, visiting stores to learn more about the product. Of key interest to the marketer are major information sources to which the consumer will turn and the relative influence each will have on the subsequent purchase decision. Now here, the first case, the milder search. If it is a generic product, nobody will go for much information gathering. But yes, if it is a techno-based product, if it is like a laptop, if it is a car, if it is a gold jewelry, where, or maybe financial products, buying real estate, you are investing into real estate, purchasing a home. So here, the intensity of this gathering of information depends upon the category of the product. The consumer information sources fall into four groups here. The first one is personal sources. As the name says, personal, that is maybe your friends, family, neighbors, acquaintances. All the informal relations, informal sources come into this personal sources through which you try to seek the information. The next is the commercial sources. Commercial, advertising, salesperson, dealers, packaging, displays, they come into this. Public sources, mass media, like print media, television, maybe if you are hearing FM radio, newspapers, magazines, they come into this category. There are also consumer rating organizations from where you come to know. Today, on the online media, the reviews are readily available. They become the source. Experiential sources like handling, examining, using the product. Now, this type of experiential is applicable only to those products where you have the demo, where there is a demonstration of how to use a product. If it is a massager, if it is a washing machine, or maybe where you can just have a look. Now, because of digitization, even this has become much more relevant source of information. Now, the relative amount and influence of the information sources vary with the product category and the buyer's characteristics also. Generally, the customer receives most information about a product from commercial sources. That is the marketer, from the marketer dominated sources. But the most effective information comes from personal sources. Each information source performs a different function in influencing the buying decision. The commercial information normally performs an informing function. They cannot convince, as in case of personal sources. Okay, here commercial information they will make aware about the product or services available. And personal sources perform a legitimizing or evaluation function. So through gathering information, the consumer learns about competing brands, their features, different prices available, features and benefits available. So here, suppose if he has a number of brands, he will try to evaluate. He will try to take into consideration all the attributes of the products. So here, it's a challenge for the companies to attract the customers by offering appropriate strategy to customers. The company should identify the consumer's information sources and also evaluate their relative importance. The company should ask the consumers. Many a times you might have uh, filled the feedback form in any of the retail shops, like how you came to know about our retail outlet, about our product, about this particular brand, what information came in later, how relative is the information source. So here it helps for the marketers to evaluate the different types of sources through which the customers comes to know or he is aware about this. So this is about the information search. And today, if you see the digital media or the internet is one of the very important source of gaining the information about the product. Any doubts as far as the first step of buying decision process is considered?
No, ma'am.
Okay, in the
No, ma'am.
next session, maybe we will discuss because I won't be able to finish the next step. That's why I stop here. Maybe in the next session, we will see what are the remaining steps here.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
sure, ma'am.
For today, we will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.